about Scrapwork with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Yay! It's Free Pattern Friday. So today, this is what we're doing for Free Pattern Friday. This one is called the Stanley block. Now, this one's been around for like a long time, and there's different ways of recreating this, and this looks great scrappy as well, but we're just gonna have some fun with it today. And yeah, it's very simple. There's some flying geese. Now, I gave you the cutting instructions for the traditional half square triangles, but you could use your easy angle ruler if you'd like, but this one works out really well, and really it comes together quite quickly actually. Now, but first, before we talk about any of this, the cutting instructions are in the show notes or the description box below, so go check them out. Let's talk about our shoutouts. So Feathered and 1/4 inch seam, both of those YouTube channels are going to be in our show notes below. Now, I couldn't find a name, and I thought, okay, well, we'll just put them out there, and somebody will tell me what their name is. You know, it's fine. They look like they're having fun, and they have a very creative voice. You guys got to go check them out. And if you like what you see, tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. The other thing you're going to find in the show notes, now, wait a minute. Let's talk about helping us out. Making comments, thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, hype on your cell phones, hit the bell. All of that helps drive our analytics forward so we can continue bringing free fun patterns to quilters everywhere. I mean, this is what our mission is. Our mission statement is to go bring free fun stuff to other people. It's kind of a simple mission, but hey, you know, it works. Now, also you're going to find in there our Facebook group link. Now, if you're part of the Facebook community, this is a perfect place to go. And, you know, you have a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord. You have all sorts of fun community chats and exchanges by for fabric by country to keep postal costs down. The admins say, please agree to the rules, answer the questions, because it makes their job so much easier. And, you know, like it's a lot faster for them than to, you know, move you forward instead of having to message you and all the rest of this stuff. And we're trying to keep that group very safe and happy little place for all the quilters to come join. Now, also, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds. So if you are looking for a speaker, and I will do my best accommodation to speak to you for free, but this is what we're talking about. You can reach me under the About tab, and my email address is there. Or what you can do is you can message me directly through the Facebook group. I am most active within Facebook or email, YouTube, and whatnot. So those are really quick ways of getting a hold of me. If you have a shout out, somebody who's a creative voice and doing some fun quilting stuff, send them my way too. Under the About tab, you'll find my email address, or message me through Facebook. I'd be happy to add them onto my shout out list. I find you guys are finding some amazing talent, so I'm just thrilled about that. Also, I've got 2 collaborations this spring, summer, and fall. The first one is Handmade by Ying with Donna. She's put together a team of YouTubers to all teach back to basics, and we're just having a ball teaching basic skills for beginners, right? Like that's a really good thing to do, because we want beginners to quilt. However, if you've picked up bad habits along the way and you need, you know, something to kind of put you back on track, right? Those are going to be perfect little videos for you to watch to get your habits back to where they should be, right? So it's not just for beginners. Also, another collaboration is coming up. It's called the Quilter Circle Challenge, and that's with Kelly from Kelly's Quilts Plus, another Kelly from Silly Moon Quilting, Sam Alberts, Future Cat from New Zealand, Deb from Sewing with Debbie, Michelle from Bits and Pieces, and myself. We're coming up with a theme, and that theme could be anything. And what does that theme mean to you? And we're challenging each other, but we're also challenging each other's viewers. So some of the stuff that's coming out of there is just beautiful for what that theme means for them. So we're having lots of fun with that. Also, you're going to find in the show notes below the Zoom sew dates are first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. I think we've covered everything. Yes. So come on in. Let's get to the sewing of the Stanley block. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the little flying geese. Now, yes, there's more than one way of doing this, right? You could have made this all the way to the edge and then, you know, made your snowballed it, but I decided if we wanted to go really scrappy, you know, you could have made the little flying goose, this part here a little different, and then it would look like a little house block. So then it would look adorable, right? So, I mean, it's kind of, we're going to leave some stuff up to you for your creativity, right? But, yeah, just make it an adorable little house block and then put it in one of these. So, this block has been around for a very long time. And it is just the, the cutest thing. Okay. It's assembled like an uneven 9 patch. So everything lines up really nicely with it. There we go. There. There we go. Nice and quick. All right. Now, you press out and away, and you trim off the dog ear. Yeah, just like that. And then you assemble it with the other side on. And you match up that point. And you just, like I say, take your time. Take your time. Don't get crazy and don't have to, there's no making it run around and do all sorts of stuff. You know, sometimes we get in such a hurry. I do. I know I do. I get kind of in a hurry to do stuff, and then I'm like, oh, that was not good, and I always regret it. So if we take our time and enjoy that the process, you know, it's a little easier for everything. There we go. I'm just going to run that up just like so. There we go. We're just making itty bitty tiny little flying geese. I don't even know how big they are. So, yeah. They're just babies. And here, you just, there we go. One more to do after this. And now, like I say, if you created this and you wanted to go all sorts of fun different colors for the roofs, you could. You could have. It would have been just darling. Okay. So this supposedly, reportedly, is the hardest part of this block. It's right here. But if you wanted to do, you know, make little different houses or rooftops or whatever, it would look sweet. But that's up to you. There we go. Take that off. And I'm just going to clip this across, just like so. Just to move it out of the way. And I'm going to clip this too. I think that's detrimental to the great plan here. Right? So, okay. Let's get this clipped just like there. And now you've got all these little things flying all over your house, and you go, where did they all come from? Because my husband asks that all the time. Where did all this string come from? And I just go, I don't know. Maybe it's the string fairy. Okay. There we go. And last one. Oh, let's run one of these through. Now, we're going to start this first. Okay, let's do, no, you know what? Let's do the short sides first. Okay, so the short side, you want those corners sticking out the same amount on both sides, right? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can eyeball it, which, I mean, I eyeball a lot of stuff when I'm sewing. And it's perfectly acceptable to eyeball. Or you could pinch it and iron it to the corner, right? I mean, that's you know, to the center. You know, pinch both pieces and you have your center marked. Oops, there we go. That works too. Now we can just run around here and take all of these and line them up. Make sure there's, yep, here we go. Do the itty bitty pieces first. The itty bitty pieces are what gets people in trouble, right? There we go. Line that up, nice and neat. Ooh, oh, it flipped. There we go. And the last. Now, so this is the eyeball method, right? You just take them and you line them up, and you know, you got the same amount of dog ear poking through on both sides, right? Now the pinch method, okay, the pinch method, of course, works a little differently. The pinch method, you take this and you match your corners up absolutely perfect, and then you just make a pinch here. Your corners are here and your pinch is there, and then you pinch here with this, and you line up your angles, your triangles there, and you pinch here. You know, you pinch exactly there, and you pop it down into the hollow. So what you've done now with this piece is you've created a valley, and now with this piece you create a mountain. So you put your mountain in your valley, and that's the pinch method. You know, whatever is working for you best. I mean, that's what this all comes down to, right? I mean, you know, I have not had a lot of issue with either method, you know. And this seam here is very small, so I'm pretty confident with the eyeball method. When it comes to the longer seams, like adding the longer triangles on, we will be using the pinch method because, yeah, there's so many, it's longer, it's a longer seam. So many more things can go wrong, right? So you don't want all of that to go wrong. You want it to go right. Because that makes your sewing easier and you don't have to spend so much time with your seam ripper. Where'd it go? There it is. It's bad enough this low volume is so pale I have to look twice to see which is the right side and which is the wrong side. Because it will show. That will show. Okay. Now, so what you do. Okay. So now I've got both ends. I'm going to take them and I'm going to line up the white seam, and I'm going to press just like that to make a valley. Just like that. And now with this, I want to press to make a mountain, right? So I'm going to take the good side and I'm going to press just in the center and make a mountain, right? Like, so this one goes up, this one goes down, and now you're going to put them, match them directly in there. Oops, there you go. You're going to match them directly in there, and you're going to right along until the end. There we go. I know. You're like, oh my goodness, let's try that again. Okay, so line up the seams, right? Line up the seams, and you're creating a valley, right? So the point goes down. Then you're going to take this, you're going to fold it with the right side out. You're going to fold it just like that, lining up your edge, and you're going, lining up your edge, and you're just going to press a little thing there, and now that's created a mountain. So this peak goes up. So now you're going to line your mountain up with your peak, drop it in place. And there we go. And it stays. There we go. Next up. So simple, right? So simple, so easy. I know it's kind of like, not everybody, I mean, everybody does their own thing, right? I mean, you know, it's kind of one of those things, you know, creating your mountain and your valley or whatever. Basically, you're dividing your work in half. Now, if you do make a mistake and pinch, you know, 2 mountains or 2 valleys, you can still make it work by putting a pin in both, right? It works. There we go. And last one. There we go. Line the seams up perfectly. And just a little mark. And line this up perfectly. Such a little mark. These are pretty blenders. I just love these blenders. There we go. Now, once we get to the low volume, again, I'm going to use the pinch method just because it is a longer seam. The shorter seams, you don't tend to get yourself into as much trouble. And again, you're just going to press it out. Again, press this. The right side showing on the outside. There we go. And press this down into place. There. Nice. Nice, neat, quick little. And you could actually pin it too if you want. If you didn't feel comfortable with, depending on the length of the seam, you could actually pin those. I'm pretty confident that I won't mess up too badly. Boy, I'm just over exuberant, you know, with all this. I can do this. I can do this. It'll be fine. Okay, here we go. And tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. And lay them in together, nice and neat. Some people, what they do is they hold on to that piece right there in the center instead of pinning. It's up to you. It's how comfortable are you feeling about this? That's the other thing, right? I mean, some people, when they have to do something like this, they struggle, right? And this is not the time to be struggling, right? You're just going to trim off all the excess little dog ears. There we go. There. And you're going to lay it down into the corner. There we go. There. See, it's coming together. It's coming together. It's doable. It's a very doable little block. Okay. And like I say, I think it would be cute if you had different colors here, but, you know, for houses, then it would look like a little house. But, you know, that's a design choice you can make. You know, give you ideas. You can just play around with this. Kind of reminds me of the granny blocks, you know, where they're not really on point. You know, they're on point, but they're not really on point. This is part of that, an elongated granny block. But here we go. Here. Okay. Pick up your thing. Get rid of all those little dog ears. Now, I trim a little bit deeper on my dog ears just to remove bulk. Right? I find that helps put the block together a little bit. Not that we're matching seams and all the rest of this on this block, but I mean, you could, you know, like you are going to be matching points here, right? So, I mean, it's kind of up to you how you want to do them, but yeah, I just go a little deeper. There's less bulk suddenly in that point, and it's easier to match for me, but I don't know if that's an old trick or a new trick, but that's what I was taught, especially because my grandmother's hand quilted, and you know, sometimes they machine sewed, but I mean, yeah, if you're hand quilting, you don't need bulk in those points. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, see, now this is how I do this. So I take a little deeper. If I was just going to go 45, I'd be like this. But I'm taking a little deeper, and I'm just getting a little bit more fabric off. Right? Again, there's the point. I'm going in. If I was to go 45, I'm like this, but I'm going in deeper. Right? So that's something to keep in mind. You know, I don't know if the long armors too, I don't know if their needle hits a big bulky seam, it's not a happy time for them because they kind of, oh no. Okay, so I guess we should start sewing these together next because we're leaving all the easy bits till the end. Okay, here we go. Besides, this makes good bed stuffing. Pet bed stuffing. Yeah. There we go. And I should go this way. There we go. Take your time, line them up. Now, I find with this, I've got just like a thread or three over, and that's okay. I just you know, make it work. The fact that I'm using a batik, I'm using a batik. There won't be hand quilting it, will I now? I'm using a batik, so sometimes there's a little bit of stretch. They're usually a little better quality, but there we go. There. There. And press away from the flying goose. Right, so you're pressing in. Okay, now let's get this baby. Let's get this baby out there. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of all the little fluffy bits. Ugh. Okay, now it sews together just like an uneven 9-patch. So we're going to go here first. Okay. There we go. And this, just like so. And this, like so. So this is what this technique I use is webbing. I use the same technique, webbing, when I sew my quilt tops together. I find I don't have a lot of issues of mixing up blocks because, you know, of maybe the way I'm taking them. You go back and you check your work, make sure your pieces are all sewn the right way, and then you take your next row, just like a book, just like you would do a book, and line up your top. That yellow is so bright in this block because it's bright yellow and it's a medium. It comes together as a medium. It counts as a medium in here, and it's like, yeah, this is so cute. There we go. And I just want to match that end up. And there we go. Okay. Now I think I flipped the seam here. Yes, I did. Now I flipped the seam, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip it in, but not through the sewing, right? So that's one way of saving a seam. You know, that everything else matches up perfectly on there, and then you flip the seam. Well, that way you don't have to worry about it. Because the one seam here is up, and the other one is down. So that's kind of important. Okay. Now this is going out, so these are coming in. Right? Again, like you're pressing away from the yellow in the middle. Right? So you're pressing through the dark. And you're pressing to the dark. Oops. Oh, I lost it. I lost my hold. And here, there we go. Well, there's one row sewn. Now let's get to the other side. Ooh, okay. I'm going to move that out of the way. So we line up our corner here. Now, once we're past that first point, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to flip this away from the center, or press to the dark, and then press to the dark again. Ugh. More string. More string, more string, and more string. Oh goodness. Oh goodness me. More string. There we go. And there we go. That's it. Now let's just review how we press this. I know we finger press everything. And when I make a quilt, I don't normally finger press everything. Okay, so we're pressing away from the flying geese. That's number one. And I flipped this one too. Oh my goodness. There. Just to get that to lie flat, we're just going to clip our seam down, and what happens is it pushes the fabric the right way. Now, so we press to this. Now we're going to press away from the center block. So everything this now goes away from the center, right? There we go, just like that. This gets pressed in because we're pressing towards the dark. And there we go. So I'm just going to give it a good steam press. We're going to hit it with a clapper. That'll help, make everything nice and flat. And we'll get to our ta-da moment. So here's our Stanley Star. So pretty. It's our big ta-da moment. Now we talked about changing the flying goose unit into a different color to make it look like a little house. If this was green and this was green, these areas here were green, we could take and make a little rooftop here. And it would look like a neighborhood, rings of houses. yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do to play around with this block. So this block is really good to challenge yourself with and play around with it. I decided, okay, we can do 3 colors, but yes, we could have all sorts of fun just by putting little roofs on the blues that are different colors and changing the yellow to a green, and we'd have grass. So, and then, you know, a pale blue or pale low volume so that you would have sky. So yes, it would be fun. This would be a fun block to do. Anyways, I hope you guys are giving these a try. This one was so much to come up with, and you know, so much doing some research on it. It was so much fun, and I thought, okay, you guys need to play with this one. This one's, it's too much fun. It's just too much fun. So anyways, you guys stay well and take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.